So what approach to planning should you take? In this video I am going to suggest some ways you can decide how you will choose the right planning approach to meet your needs. Organizations undertake a wide variety of cross-functional projects to address very different business challenges. You will encounter advocates for many different project methodologies who will claim their approach can successfully deliver any project. In many cases this is like forcing a square peg through a round hole. There will be gaps and compromises, and you may find yourself frustrated if you try to take a one-size-fits-all approach. There is a smarter way. It is best to start by thinking about the challenge or problem your project is intended to address and only then choose the right methodology. To do this we can use David Snowden's Cynefin Framework. This insightful model provides a simple problem categorization and response strategy which can point you in the right direction. The framework starts with 4 quadrants titled as simple, complicated, complex and chaotic, with disorder in the center area. There is a lot of depth to this framework, and it is worth exploring to better understand complexity theory and how it can be applied for many purposes. Our objective in using the Cynefin framework is to review the problem and influencing factors your project is intended to resolve and then utilize the recommended approach. We will look at each quadrant in the model and see what relevant guidance the framework provides. Let's start with the simple quadrant. In the simple quadrant, the relationship between cause and effect exists, is self-evident, is predictable and is repeatable. The Cynefin framework tells us the best approach with simple projects is to sense, categorize and then respond. These are straightforward projects where the problem is clear and the solution is easily applied using a best practice method. The example that comes to mind is a pothole in the road. The problem is tangible and measurable, the solution is clear with known specifications, and the resolution activities are well known. These projects typically require minimal planning apart from the scheduling and assignment of appropriate resources. In the complicated quadrant, the relationship between cause and effect exists but is not self-evident and therefore requires expertise and analysis. The Cynefin framework tells us the best approach with complicated projects is to sense, analyze and then respond. One example may be a road bridge. The engineering knowledge exists but the design and construction approach will be unique based on the location, traffic demands and community needs. These projects typically require detailed planning to progressively elaborate the design before construction commences. The approval processes, cost of changes, tight deadlines, and scheduling requirements for valuable resources call for a waterfall or critical path planning and delivery methodology. In the complex quadrant, the relationship between cause and effect is only obvious in hindsight with unpredictable emergent outcomes. The Cynefin framework tells us the best approach with complex projects is to probe, sense, and then respond. These projects are usually seeking to affect market or human behaviors or perceptions, and are typically executed through cycles of fast-paced ideation, experimentation and review. One example may be a marketing campaign that will test a messaging approach and then adjust or scale out and up, depending on the feedback gained. Another example is software projects building on rapid development platforms that allow for short cycles of listen, build, demonstration, and deployment, iterations with developers working in close partnership with end users. Adaptive or agile project methodologies work best to address these types of project challenges. In the chaotic quadrant, no relationship between cause and effect can be determined. The Cynefin framework tells us the best approach is to act, sense, and then respond. If you have a project problem in the chaotic space, your objective is to stabilize the situation by taking fast action so you can hopefully move into one of the other quadrants. The recent example that everyone will remember is the emergence of COVID. Many business leaders avoided chaos by making quick decisions based on only preliminary information while they assigned separate teams to learn more and prepare medium-term plans. This got people looking ahead while the implementations of the initial stabilizing directions were underway. So, in summary, in the simple quadrant, we may use some planning practices, but only where needed. In the complicated quadrant, it's best to use waterfall and critical path planning methodologies using detailed Gantt charts and progress tracking tools. For complex projects or work streams, it's best to use an iterative and adaptive methodology like an innovation framework or Agile Scrum. Short iteration cycles and fast-fail experiments will deliver some early value and allow the progressive evolution towards the best possible solution. If you find yourself in a chaotic project situation, make some quick decisions to stabilize the immediate situation to give yourself room to move your project or work streams into another quadrant. You will notice I have just introduced the term of work streams. Your project may be a work stream in a larger project or program, or your project may have multiple projects or work streams. It is quite common to have different projects or work streams in a large program of work using different methodologies. This works fine if there is a program-level plan aligning deliverables and active dependency management, which I will cover in a future video. A few final points on planning. Many people ask about Six Sigma and if it is a project planning methodology. Well, the answer is not really, but it is a very valuable methodology for the identification and design of business process improvements your project may be tackling. Another important point to remember is that all project planning starts with a set of assumptions and forecasts that are validated and made real as the project goes through its various phases of execution. Project plans shouldn't be treated as straitjackets you are trapped within. They should evolve and adapt as new information becomes available or the needs of the organization change. And lastly, planning is a team activity that everyone on the project team benefits from. The project team members will grow in their understanding of the challenge ahead and be in a much better position to contribute across the entire project when they know and have ownership of the plan. I hope this video will help you be successful in delivering your projects. If you found it helpful, remember to like and share this video link with others. This is one of our first videos, but more information and helpful tools and templates will be progressively published at swifthorizon.com.au. Always remember, good planning leads to great results.